Alright guys, so this is what it means to fry ball. Let's see if we can see these little tiny fry under that dock. See them all under that dock? There's a 4-pounder with it. You can see them all right up under there. There's a 4-pounder under there. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about fry balling. Now, what's fry balling? I think a lot of people don't fully understand what fry balling means and what it means to fish a fry ball. So I want to get into it first. I led this video off with a little video I took of a fry ball, and I hope you guys could see it. There were a bunch of tiny little fry that were swimming under a dock. So when a bass goes to spawn, they will lay their eggs, the eggs will hatch, and then the eggs will go into a fry state. Well, a fry is, there's a technical term for it. They need to be a certain size, a certain age, but pretty much as soon as they hatch, they turn into a fry. And at that point, I mean, they're like 1/4 inch long. They're just a little dot. But when you have thousands of these fry that have hatched at roughly the same time, now you've got thousands of them that in the water column, they'll stay together and form a school of fry that, you know, can be anywhere from that big to that big, and they'll spread out more as they grow and get bigger because they start swimming more in the water. But in that video, you could see those were a little bit older fry. There was a bigger area of them. But when those little bass eggs hatch and turn into fry, they will stay together until they get big enough to swim off on their own. The male largemouth at the same time will stick around and protect those fry as they would with their eggs when they're on the bed. So as that fry ball kind of swims as a mass, like a school of bait fish, you'll get a largemouth that oftentimes will hang out with them and guard the fry. So, you know, if a bluegill swims in to try to eat some of those fry, the largemouth will swim in and chase that bluegill away or chase the bait fish away. And because of that, it can become a pretty good tactic for catching bass during the spawn and post-spawn period. Excuse me. So in this case, we've got a lot of fry balls that are occurring at this time of year, and ideally what you're looking for are areas where the bass spawned, you know, where you've got big spawning areas. You're looking for either a bass that looks like it's guarding a bed but there's no bed to be guarded, or you're visually looking for the fry ball. I mean, the fry ball can be a little dark cloud in the water, and if you're aware of what they look like, you can see them quite a bit, and when that happens, you can target those bass that are protecting that fry ball. It's a really good tactic for catching fish this time of the year in the spring period. Again, I highly recommend, you know, catch and release, because that fish will go back and guard those fry, which allows the fry to continue to grow as you would with a bed fish. You know, you let the fish go back so it can guard the bed some more. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't necessarily target them during tournaments, because if I do have a big fry ball guarding fish like I would a bed fish, I will target that fish during the tournament because it is my career and livelihood. So there's a couple ways to go about doing that. The best approach is just a wacky rigged stick bait. This is a Max Scent General, like my favorite. You can see I've got the hook rolled over, so I was practicing with this and I wouldn't catch anything. You can see it's been torn up pretty good by lots and lots of bites that I've had. But the best thing to do is just throw a weightless wacky rig over into the area where you think the fry ball is, and that will just slowly hover down through the water column where the fry ball is, and that will get the bass's attention to come over and eat it. Generally, those fry balls are high in the top half of the water column. You won't see them down low as much. They generally rise up to the surface where they get more sun. There's more nutrients that they can eat up there. So generally you want a bait that's a little bit higher, and that's why I recommend going with a weightless wacky rig. The other bait that I would highly recommend excuse me, is a frog, any topwater bait. So like this is a chopo, poppers are really good, frogs are really good. Any sort of topwater bait, because of the fact that those fry are higher up in the water column, the topwater bait will give the look to the guarding male largemouth that's underneath that there is something on the surface feeding on the fry. So that largemouth will come up to you know, eat the topwater bait. So really any topwater bait's a really good choice. I recommend though something that you can kind of let sit still, so not something that you have to keep moving, which is the majority of topwater baits. But like a frog, you know, you can walk it, let it stop. The chopo, you can move it, kill it, let it stop. A popper, of course, you're just popping in place. So those are really great baits for fishing fry balls. I mean, it's really one of those two baits in my opinion, the wacky rig or the topwater. Another really great bait is a pre-rigged worm, just because that's weightless as well and it kind of is coiling through the water. It's something that you don't hear many people talk about anymore, but it is a really good bait for fry balling. So, you know, give it a try, guys. If you happen to be out on the water and you see a little cloud floating through, that's probably bass fry. There's probably a bass that's nearby. You can target them. You know, great places to look for. Again, if you're in a spawning cove, that's where you want to be to start. But once you're in the spawning cove, you're looking for any isolated pieces of cover, whether that's a laydown tree, a log, a dock, you know, a clump of weeds. It's really, you're looking for the objects that are closest to where the beds potentially could have been. And all of those items I just rattled off are areas that bass will build nests next to. So once the eggs hatch, turn into fry, those fry will hang out by whatever object they feel safest next to, which is something that's going to be pretty close to them, because they can't just swim a quarter mile. They'll swim 10-15 feet, but generally they'll stay in the same area you know, until they get big enough to swim off on their own. So guys, I hope this was helpful. We don't hear much talk about the fry ball strategy, but it is a really good one this time of year and something that can generate a lot of really good bites for you. So give it a try. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, leave me a comment if I left some baits out that you guys like to use for the fry balling, and share it on your social media. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.